What's going on there, YouTube, and welcome back to another comic book video. This is the channel where we sit down and cover different comic book stories from different comic book companies. Today, we're going to jump back over to Marvel Comics, and we are going to continue our coverage over the Dark Reign period of Marvel Comics, and we're going to pick up with the Punisher. Now, of course, we all know the Punisher loves to kill bad guys. So his next objective is to take out Norman Osborn, aka the Green Goblin, because right now the Green Goblin took over S.H.I.E.L.D., dismantled S.H.I.E.L.D., and replaced S.H.I.E.L.D. with his new organization called Hammer. And the Punisher knows that Norman Osborn is not a good guy. He is a crooked person, and the Punisher knows that Norman Osborn must be stopped. So the Punisher's next mission is to kill Norman Osborn. So if you do like today's comic book video, please hit that like button down below and also subscribe to the channel for more content to come in the near future. Also, any suggestions on books I should read, well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But I do hope you enjoy today's video. So we pick up with the Punisher being the Punisher. What I mean by that is because he is setting up a sniper. If you know the Punisher character, he is planning to kill somebody. Of course, if you saw the title of this video, you know that the character he is trying to kill is no other than Norman Osborn. Remember, Norman Osborn is a crooked person who was able to move up the chain of command to take over S.H.I.E.L.D. He got rid of S.H.I.E.L.D. and replaced it with Hammer. So you have the Punisher take his shot at trying to kill Norman Osborn. You would think that this is too easy for the Punisher. Just set up shop and take out Norman Osborn in the first 4 pages. Well, no, because Norman Osborn brought in the Sentry. We all know that nothing at this point in Marvel Comics can stop the Sentry, especially not the Punisher, who is a regular human being. Of course, you have the Punisher be confronted by the Sentry, which he tells us that he did not plan for this. He did plan for the other members of the Dark Avengers. That is a little bit easier to plan for them. Except for the Sentry, he did plan something, but it's one of those hopefully it works kind of plans. So the Punisher goes around running, trying to get away from the Sentry, trying to get him to a certain location so he is able to get rid of the Sentry to slow him down. Where the Sentry literally just walks through everything the Punisher throws at him. There's even a point where the Sentry throws the Punisher to the ground. So it seems like this is the end for the Punisher. Except you have the Punisher stop the Sentry by saying that he had planted a bomb in a nearby hospital. So that makes the Sentry leave and gives the Punisher some time to do something. So you have the Sentry go there, and of course, when the Sentry gets to the hospital, it was a fake bomb. This does make the Sentry very angry, so he does go back to bring in the Punisher, except the Punisher is gone when the Sentry gets back to where he left the Punisher at. So now the question is, where is the Punisher? We see that the Punisher had escaped to his battle van, which of course makes sense, except when the Punisher gets inside, you have someone hack the system of the Punisher battle van and tells him that he is here to help the Punisher. Tells him that the Sentry is still looking for him and the battle van is not going to protect the Punisher from the Sentry. So you have this man tell the Punisher to listen to him and he can help him escape. At this point, the Punisher really does not have a choice except to listen to this man and basically follow his instructions. So that what happens, you have the Punisher following this random man instructions that leads him throughout the subway station. When the Punisher gets to the location the man has sent him to, the Punisher passes out because of his injuries, but the guy is there to take the Punisher away somewhere else. So with the opening of the second chapter, we see the Punisher waking up after passing out from all of his injuries, where you have the Punisher wondering where in the world he is at the moment, only to see the guy who basically saved his life walk into the room and the Punisher forcing him to tell us his name, which is just Henry. For the Punisher, he wants to know why this random person saved his life. Henry tells us two things. The first being that he is a top-notch hacker. Also the fact that he knows that Norman Osborn is a bad person and wants the Punisher to help stop Norman Osborn. So that leads into Henry showing a news clip of Norman Osborn being interviewed. Just like in our Dark Avengers videos, we see him being able to play with the media and make them believe whatever he says is true. Make them believe he is a good kind of guy. And so you have Henry tell the Punisher that he knows that Norman Osborn is evil because of what he found. Different kinds of criminal operations across the nation, probably the world. The problem is that he needs hard-hitting proof if they want to be able to land Norman Osborn in jail. And so you have the Punisher and Henry agree to work together, except you have the Punisher ask Henry if he's ready to work together, because this life the Punisher is part of, it can get Henry killed. And so you have Henry say yes, and that means that they are now partners. And so you have the Punisher and Henry begin to work together by going to one of the hidden gun shops of where Norman Osborn is holding onto a bunch of guns. You have Frank Castle go in and act like he is a regular person at first, except of course the guy who is selling guns can tell Frank Castle is the Punisher. So out of nowhere he hits a button and a bunch of guys disappear out of nowhere trying to kill the Punisher, and we see him being able to take these guys down very quickly. The Punisher and Henry knew that something like this would happen. So after you have the Punisher take these guys out, you have him make the owner of the shop show him where they keep all of the guns at. Of course, the Punisher takes them all, which then leads to the Punisher going around to the different criminal operations that Norman Osborn runs and destroying them, basically using some of the weapons that Norman Osborn had locked up at the shop. After the Punisher had destroyed each of these operations, well, of course, he takes pictures of each of the places as a way to say, this is where Norman Osborn money goes. It goes into these operations as a way to pay for everything else he has. Once you have the Punisher being able to get enough photos and bring them back over to Henry, Henry at first is excited to see that Norman Osborn's stuff is being destroyed. Except when he looks at the pictures, he gets sick to the stomach because what he sees is what the Punisher had done to these people. It is his first time seeing what the Punisher had done and how bad he killed those men. So Henry finally realized what he agreed to join in. The Punisher is serious about getting rid of Norman Osborn and his people. After the pictures of what the Punisher has been doing finally gets into the newspapers, the media is not painting this as, oh, these are hidden criminal operations of Norman Osborn. Right now, the newspapers are saying that these were just attacks being done by a random vigilante. And so you have Norman Osborn ask the Hood if he can handle getting rid of the Punisher, which the Hood agrees to do this for Norman Osborn. Now you are probably wondering, who is the Hood? Well, the Hood was this character who is on Norman Osborn Cabal. Norman Osborn Cabal was a group of people who worked under him, but to everyone else, they are allies working together to control America in the Dark Reign period. The Hood was a guy who used to be a regular thug who got motivated to be a criminal after seeing a fight between, I want to say, Electro and Daredevil. except he found items that were enchanted by Dormammu. We picked up with the Hood interrogating some random thugs who worked for him, wondering how the Punisher was able to take down their businesses that belonged to the Hood, letting us know that Henry is that good of a hacker, he was able to get the Punisher into places without alerting security teams. Switching over to the Punisher and Henry, we see them talking about the different places that they have hit and the ones they need to hit. Now this leads into Henry explaining how Norman Osborn is able to get away with these operations, stating that Norman Osborn is selling that crime has gone down, except what he has done is take the crime off the streets and prevent people going door to door to achieve their crimes, meaning that he's making it sure that no one sees what is happening. This leads into Henry pointing out another shop that needs to be hit that belongs to Norman Osborn, so the Punisher agrees to go there. With that being said, you have the Hood talking to his elite soldiers and getting them ready to take down the Punisher. I want you to realize something here. This is the Hood kind of thinking of himself as the new Kingpin of New York. With that being said, he thinks he is better than Kingpin ever was. Now, we get this mysterious person from the shadows that begins to judge the moves of the Hood, saying that every move the Hood has done were all dumb and not going to work, that this person knows the Punisher very well and knows how to take him down, what the Punisher weakness is, which is his moral code. Moral code. Man, I totally butchered that. Moral code. Now the last part of the third chapter is the Punisher attacking this random location. Remember that Henry has been able to stay one step ahead of the Hood and Norman Osborn, except this time it won't be like that. Because remember what I said just a moment ago, that the Hood was talking to an elite group of soldiers and having them planning something big for the Punisher. The Hood has someone who talked like he knew the Punisher very well. What I mean by all of this is that the Punisher has walked into a trap, because when he gets inside, all of these forces begin to attack the Punisher. That is just the beginning, because as soon as he takes these guys down, these vans pull up and it seems like they are SWAT teams, except that is when Henry finds out that these guys are not police. They work for the Hood, except when he finds out the Punisher ends up being cornered by them. Now, of course, the Punisher was not taken out because it would be too easy to take him out like that in his own book. So they wouldn't kill him off this early in his own story. Either way, you have the Punisher show us that he took most of the SWAT team down. Then he checks in with Henry to let Henry know that they need to leave, that this was basically a trap, and could mean Henry's location could be known as well by these guys. So this is pushing the Punisher and Henry into a corner. We switch over to the Hood, and the Hood is just walking around his business, is checking up for an update, where he does get mad at the guy he left running the business, except after that moment you have the Hood be told that there is a problem with the Punisher plan. Of course, this is the moment he finds out that the elite soldiers he put together to go after the Punisher are failing, that those men are now calling for help because their men are gone now thanks to the Punisher. So you have the Hood basically bring in a D-grade villain known as the Grizzly to go after the Punisher, a man who wears a bear suit who may have the strength of a grizzly bear, which does give us the chance to check up on the Punisher. And we see him fighting his way against those elite soldiers that the Hood had put together. Now you have these guys who think they still have the advantage because with their numbers and Punisher being a one-man army, they have the upper advantage on taking down the Punisher. Except this is the Punisher. He is someone who can't be stopped. This dude have fought odds like this before. So these guys just don't understand that they have messed up and they are going to lose this battle. This is the moment we learn that the Grizzly wasn't really sent to go after the Punisher, except he was sent to go after Henry, because whoever is this mysterious person working for the Hood was able to get the location of where Henry was at. You take out Henry, well, it makes it harder for the Punisher to complete his goal. Except when the Grizzly gets to what the Hood and his team thought was Henry's location was of course a false location, and it blows up the place. So there goes Grizzly. So of course we see Henry and the Punisher meeting back up and letting us know that they have been pushed into a corner thanks to the Hood, which leads into Henry freaking out because now they know that the Hood is on their case. The Hood is known as someone who is using demonic magic, which of course it scares Henry. But of course it doesn't scare the Punisher since he has been around for such a long time. So we see him pull out different heroes' tech that heroes may have lost or left behind, and you have the Punisher tell Henry that he is ready to go after the Hood. To close on the 4th chapter, we see the Hood getting back to his base and of course knowing that everything he had planned, well, has failed. And he's mad at our mysterious character. And we come to find out that who is this mysterious character? It is Microchip, aka David Linus. And this is huge because Microchip died a while back. He should not be here, but thanks to the Hood, he was able to bring Microchip back and make Microchip actually help the Hood out to take down the Punisher. So this is huge because Microchip was a close friend of the Punisher and was Punisher's tech person. Now remember that we saw the Punisher holding on to a bunch of old superhero tech. One of those was Ant-Man's helmet, which of course gave Ant-Man the ability to go big or small. So when this pizza gets delivered to the security team that is watching over the base of the Hood, at first people think it's your average pizza, except people begin to die left and right, only to see the Punisher pop out of one of these guys' heads and grows regular size. So the Punisher was able to sneak his way into the base of the Hood. And with that happening, of course, we know what that means. The Punisher is ready to go full strength on these guys, just going around and wrecking folks left and right. These guys don't stand a chance against the Punisher. It's the Punisher. And so we get pages on pages of the Punisher just going around and beating these guys down. They don't realize what they're going up against. It is the Punisher. This man had fought armies before and took armies down. And so this is them realizing they have messed up, truthfully. Now here comes the moment we know that is going to come up very soon, which of course the Punisher meeting up with Microchip. Because remember, these two used to work together. The reason why this is such a big deal is mainly on the idea that Microchip died and the Hood basically brought him back. This is huge again because Microchip died and should have stayed dead. So with him being here, it makes the Punisher angry to see him here at the moment. Also, you have Microchip actually try to convince the Punisher to actually work with him in the Hood. Give up and let the Hood win. The Hood has the ability to bring back the Punisher's family, except the Punisher knows that his wife would not want him to make a deal with the devil. And so he tells Microchip no. This leads into Microchip showing us that he has other supervillains with him and then sending them out there to fight against the Punisher. The main villain they sent out, of course, is Mr. Hyde. We talked about him before in our this fight lasts a few pages, except the Punisher is able to win thanks to Henry playing some kind of frequency that really bothers the ears of Mr. Hyde and takes him out of the picture now. Now, with Mr. Hyde being taken down, this gives the Punisher the chance to plant his C4 in the building, telling us that their goal was not to kill the Hood, not just yet, but to basically cripple his business, slow him down somehow, find a way to push him into a corner. How do you do that? Blow up what he claims as his throne room, his temple. It was displaced, to be honest. So you have the Punisher plant his C4, and in the next page, the building is blown up. The book ends with the Hood going down into a lower basement level. I want you to remember what I said earlier about the Hood. Remember, his powers were based around the idea of him gaining his powers thanks to using dark magic. Well, he goes down and uses his dark magic to revive a bunch of people. These people are villains that the Punisher may have killed or had died for other reasons. Either way, he is going to use these people to help him hunt down the Punisher. And this is where we are going to end today's video. So please hit that like button down below and also subscribe to the channel for more content to come in the near future. Also, any suggestions on books I should read? Well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But I do hope you enjoy today's video.